You think your boss wants you to succeed. They don't. They want you to perform without gaining too much power. And the rules you're following? They were designed to keep you exactly where you are. You show up early. You stay late. You take on extra work. You fix problems no one else wants to touch. You think that makes you valuable. You think that puts you ahead. You think someone is noticing. But nothing changes. No promotion. No real recognition. No shift in how you're treated. Meanwhile, someone else moves up. Less skilled, more visible. And you don't understand why. That's because you're playing the game you were taught, not the one that actually exists. There are rules in your workplace that nobody explains to you, because once you understand them, you stop being easy to manage. Rule number 1. Hard work is recorded. Visibility is remembered. You think effort compounds. It doesn't, unless people see it. Most of your work disappears the moment it's done. No audience, no narrative, no impact beyond the task itself. Meanwhile, someone else speaks once in a meeting, and that moment gets remembered for weeks. Because memory doesn't store effort, it stores signals. Rule number 2. Your boss doesn't reward honesty. They reward predictability. You think being transparent builds trust, but your boss is under pressure. Deadlines, targets, expectations from people above them. They don't want surprises. They want control. If your honesty introduces uncertainty, you become harder to manage. And hard to manage quietly turns into not ideal. Rule number 3. The more reliable you are, the harder you are to move. You become the person everyone depends on. You solve problems quickly. You don't complain. You deliver consistently. That feels like progress. It's not. You've made yourself operationally critical, which means moving you creates friction, and friction slows decisions. So instead of promoting you, they keep you exactly where you are. Rule number 4. Promotions are not rewards. They are risk calculations. You think your boss asks, "Who deserves this?" They don't. They ask, "Who reduces risk in this new role?" If you're too quiet, risk. Too opinionated, risk. Too unknown, risk. The person who gets promoted isn't always the best. It's the one who feels safest to elevate. Rule number 5. Meetings are performance environments. You think meetings are about solving problems. They're not. They're about signaling competence, confidence, clarity, control. The person who speaks with structure often outweighs the person who has better ideas but hesitates, because perception happens in real time, and perception shapes decisions. Rule number 6. Your coworkers are aligned until they're not. You collaborate. You help each other. You share information. It feels like a team. But the system introduces scarcity, limited promotions, limited recognition, limited influence. And scarcity changes behavior. People don't need to sabotage you. They just need to prioritize themselves. And that's enough. Rule number 7. HR manages risk, not fairness. You think HR is a neutral system. It isn't. It's a filter. Its job is to protect the company from legal, financial, and reputational damage. If your situation creates risk, you become the variable they manage, not the one they protect. Rule number 8. Silence is interpreted as absence. You think staying quiet avoids mistakes, but silence creates ambiguity, and ambiguity gets filled. If you don't speak, people assume. Not engaged, not confident, not leadership material. Invisibility isn't neutral, it's negative. Rule number 9. Skill gets you in the room. Leverage decides how long you stay. You focus on improving your work. Your output gets better. Your efficiency increases. But none of that protects you. Because protection doesn't come from skill. It comes from alternatives. If you can leave, you have leverage. If you're known, you have leverage. If you're needed beyond one role, you have leverage. Without that, your skill is just replaceable effort. Rule number 10. The system rewards what it can measure and control. You think being a good employee matters, but the system doesn't see intention. It sees patterns, consistency, responsiveness, compliance. If your behavior fits cleanly into what's measurable, you're easy to manage. And being easy to manage often matters more than being exceptional. Now look at the pattern. Everything you thought would move you forward is keeping you stable. You worked harder and became more replaceable. You stayed quiet and became invisible. You became reliable and became immovable. That's the trap. You weren't doing the wrong things. You were doing the right things for the wrong system. Because the workplace isn't just about performance. It's about positioning, where you sit in the hierarchy, how visible your work is, how predictable your behavior is, how much control others have over your outcomes. And most people never question that. They just keep optimizing effort. But effort is the most crowded strategy in the system. Everyone is working hard. Very few are thinking about how the system interprets that work. That's the deeper layer. You're not just being evaluated on what you do. You're being evaluated on what your behavior allows others to do with you. Can they rely on you without resistance? Can they predict your reactions? Can they keep you in place without friction? If the answer is yes, you become easy to keep. And being easy to keep is not the same as being valuable. That's the realization most people avoid. You've been optimizing to be needed, not to have options. You've been trying to prove your value inside the system, instead of understanding how the system defines value in the first place. And once you see that, your behavior changes. You stop assuming effort is enough. You stop confusing silence with safety. You stop thinking reliability leads to mobility. You start paying attention to visibility, to perception, to how decisions are actually made, not how they're explained. Not to manipulate, but to understand. Because once you understand the system, you stop expecting it to reward things it was never designed to reward. And that's where most people lose years. Not because they weren't capable, but because they were playing a game where the real rules were hidden. The problem isn't that you didn't follow the rules. It's that you followed the ones that were never meant to move you forward.